Hey, they're brilliant people. So today I want to talk to you about a very important question. It is a question I get asked from time to time, and that question is, can intuition be trusted? Well, the reason why that's such an important question is because it is actually directly linked to how well we trust ourselves. Because essentially, our intuition is that deeper part of ourselves talking to us. But we need to know, that's one of the first things that we need to be able to discern when we're learning to have a conscious intuitive process. We need to be able to discern, is this my intuition talking to me, or is it my imagination? Like, for example, is it my anxiety? Well, that takes a little bit of practice. So the more that you practice your intuition, or and particularly when you do have those moments of intuition, because we all have them. When you have that moment of intuition, notice how you feel on the inside. Notice the internal alignment. For most people, it's kind of like it's a really still state. It's like everything on the inside is just quiet, which is why sometimes it's referred to as that state of quiet knowing. And that's because intuition is always at its clearest when all the different parts of us have stopped arguing about things and they've all lined up. So every part of us is just lined up to this moment, this knowing. So that is often when our intuition is clearest. Now, if we learn to pay attention and learn to be able to recognize that state, we can then learn to practice that state and reproduce it, which is really cool, because it means that on two levels. It means that we can know when it really is our intuition, but also if we practice that state, we can learn to have more conscious control over our intuition and when it talks to us and when it doesn't. And it has this other really important benefit, which is that it helps us actually learn to trust ourselves more, because it helps us understand that when everything on the inside is all in turmoil, it's because some part of us is kind of arguing with another part of us. And the more that we practice doing the things that we need to do to get all of our parts into alignment, we start to get to experience more and more that when all of us is in alignment, which is when our intuition talks to us, that means that all of our different parts are actually lined up, and therefore actually that's when we can trust ourselves the most. Remembering, of course, that if it is just our imagination or our anxiety talking to us, well, then we won't have that alignment inside. In fact, there'll often be this state of internal conflict, which is often why it will feel quite stressful or anxious. And then that means that we need to actually resolve whatever that internal conflict is first, because once that's what we need to do in order to be able to hear our intuition, in order to be able to figure out really what it is that we want that's going to work for all of us. So there you go. So in other words, it's not so much a question of can intuition be trusted, but are we in a state of such good internal alignment with ourselves that we can trust what we're saying to ourselves, because we're not talking to ourselves about our internal conflict. We are genuinely talking about the things that we are picking up intuitively. So the more that we trust ourselves, of course, the easier it is to allow our brilliance to shine through. So practice that state of internal alignment and remember that you're brilliant.